What are you doing? Do you know what you just said? And she's like, yeah, I called him a naughty boy. And you were like, no,
you didn't.
You called him a great blowjob.
Do you know what? I think we have a special. I think we've got a special contribution to the swear jar coming. Your mum owes that one. Your mum owes that one.
Yes, people, welcome back to DadPod. We are here again in the freezing cold. It's got a bit worse now, so we're all in coats. Bear with us. It's not that aesthetically pleasing, but we're here.
I'm in my house coats.
Oh, okay. There's always one.
I'll call it house coat as well. It's got to be a house coat.
But yeah, welcome people. And if you're new here, this is DadPod, and this is where us dads come together, talk about parenting, life, and everything in between. And sometimes Bobby talks about the blues. But anyway, my name's NT.
I'm Chris.
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Will.
Blues.
Yes, and this is DadPod. If you like what you see, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's catch up. So, how's everyone been?
Before we get properly started,
He's
Oh,
brought props.
okay.
Merry Christmas.
Finally.
He's got it.
How to be punctual.
You know what makes that even funnier?
Go on.
Who were the last two people to turn up today?
And this is what, we're in the middle of January?
Yeah, middle of January.
And this is a Christmas present.
So there's 3 reasons why that
for those
just doesn't make sense.
for those that didn't tune into the Christmas episode,
This is what I should have got.
yeah, that's what he
That's what I
should.
should
That's what he should have got from Bobby as Secret Santa. But yeah, if you want to know the backstory to why he's just getting that now, watch the Christmas episode because it is quite a funny story.
I
On that
understand.
note, actually, I completely forgot to ask, did you use the little jumper?
I did.
Nice.
I wore it to work. I wore it to work, and I had there was a Christmas buffet on, and one of the girls was just like staring at me. I'm like,
Are you okay?
love?
You should have looked at her and went, it's little, right?
She having a little
She
look?
Are you having a little look? That's a sick one.
she was just staring at me. I was like, "You all right?" And she goes, "That jumper is so bad that it's great."
That's what a Christmas jumper should be, man.
Yeah, man.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how's everyone's week been?
Do you know?
Who started?
Do you know?
Cold.
Yeah, very cold. But my little one, he's now in a proper bed. So the sides have come off. But he absolutely scared the life out of me the other day. So,
We should laugh like.
Mrs. has gone to bed. His brother's gone to bed. He's gone to bed. I'm just downstairs watching a film and that. And I've like turned the lights off watching the film.
Oh, one of them.
Anyway, I've just heard a thud from upstairs, and I've thought nothing of it because I've like completely forgot that he's in a proper bed now. I've just thought, my eldest is like fell out of the bed again, because that happens every now and then.
Yeah.
So I've heard this thud. So I was just thought, I'll get back in his bed like he always does. So carry on watching this film, and I just hear the door open for the living room.
Sound effects over it.
I look over because it's dark. I just see the silhouette of this little person stood there with his blankie staring at me.
It would have made it ace if you was watching like Child's Play or something.
Yeah.
So that would have
It's
made it so
lucky,
much
yeah.
more
It
ace.
is lucky I wasn't watching a scary film because I hate stuff like that. You know, like in scary films when it's just like two little girls in like white dresses,
yeah.
just like in a hallway.
Yeah.
It was that sort of vibes, man. It was weird.
What's
But
that,
yeah.
the Ring, is it?
Something like
She
that.
comes out the TV.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a bit of an adjustment, but it's all good. But we found a bit of a cheat code with the sleep the other day.
Please do tell.
R1, R2, R1, R2, left, right, up, down, X square circle.
Because my daughter is not sleeping in her bed.
I don't know if your little one can have it because I think there might be an age restriction to it.
Whiskey.
This is
About to say,
this is definitely legal
She's
for
not
kids, by
18.
the way.
I was about to say.
Yeah, but we noticed during the holidays and that, like, both of the boys were out of routine and stuff, and they kept waking up, getting up. So the missus done some research, and we bought gummy bears that they can eat, but they've got magnesium in them.
I've been learning about magnesium.
Yeah. So like
It's helped.
we've been feeding them that, like giving them that, and they think it's a treat before bedtime because
Yeah.
it's like shaped as a sweetie and that. And it's worked. Like they've been
Yeah.
sleeping. Yeah, they've been sleeping through, man.
Decent.
Yeah. So
Share a link.
try it out.
Share
Try
a
it
link
out.
with us and on DadPod.
Yeah. I'll share a link.
Get
Hopefully,
that affiliate.
yeah,
link,
get that affiliate link. Hopefully, get that
You're gonna
kickback.
get that affiliate.
Please, if you do see this affiliate, please buy us a heater.
But yeah, it seems to be working. So I'll let you guys know which one that we got.
Good.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Nice work, man.
Yeah, man, cool.
Anyway, the one day, they're both doing my head in. Like, absolutely doing my head in. Just fighting with each other, moaning at each other. And I'm like, right, usually I'll give them a bath together. But I was like, not today. Because they're just going to do my head in even more. So like, keep them separate for a bit. One's all right, one bath and the other one. Anyway, so I put my youngest in the bath. And I'm like, I'm proper stressed out. I've been doing my head in all day. And then I'm just like kind of walking around getting the stuff ready for when she comes out of the bath and that. And she just goes, Daddy? I was like, yeah. She was like, what's Spanish for elbow?
Elbow. What?
Elbow.
And all of a
Why
sudden,
do you need to know?
just in that moment, all the stress just went. Like, honestly, I was just like, I don't know, but that's a brilliant question. Still don't know what it is.
Well, my boys have been picking up like words, not different languages, but random words. So their grandpa, he's like really into like the Carry On films from like back in the day, and he's been like teaching them like certain stuff, like PG stuff from it, but like yeah, certain like catchphrases and stuff from it.
Yeah.
And like they were playing upstairs the other day, and like they were messing about with each other and stuff. And then all of a sudden, my eldest like ran out of his room, and he was like, "Oh, matron."
Oh, mate.
Like ever since then, he just keeps saying it. Like the other day, I was like, "Can you tidy up your toys in the lounge, please?" And he was like, "Oh, do I have to?" I was like, "Yeah, you need to tidy them up because like you've made the mess. Like, tidy them up. Come on now." And then he's walked off and he's like, "Oh, matron." It's like, what is wrong with this kid, man?
On a tangent, I have to say, especially because you mentioned I talk about blues. So for some reason, my girls have been watching videos about
Fluffing your eye.
about Ronaldo and Messi.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, Daddy,
Real
who's
footballers.
the GOAT, Ronaldo or Messi? And I'm like, listen, girls, this is, influence as a parent's important. It is neither. It is Oliver Tebbeley.
What a guy.
Not even like Jude Bellingham or like.
That game, like, one of-
I'm using...
Not Ferdinand Coley.
No. Although he was a one-hit wonder. Yeah, Olivia
half
Tebbeley.
wonder.
Especially because we have that song, We All Dream of a Team of Tebbeleys. I'm
Who's
hoping
that,
it clicks when we sing it at the
who's that guy that won you the cup?
Who's Martin.
Febby Martin. That's
this
it.
is
Yeah.
slander.
I can't remember
Who's
his name.
that
I
guy?
can't remember his name.
Obafemi Martins is a living legend.
For you guys,
It
yeah.
really is.
For you,
Yeah, I was
like,
about to say, you guys are all talking absolute gibberish.
Sorry about the football tangent, but I believe it. You should use your influence as a parent to teach them the
Yeah.
right things.
You know what?
Going on the theme of languages, I got a story. I don't know whether to tell it though because it's
Oh, you've got to tell it
You've
now.
got now you've opened your mouth.
Committed now.
You've opened.
Can't
you
just
gotta
drop
go
that
for
in there and
this,
tell us.
This is from years ago though. So like you guys know, but for the listener or viewer, my brother-in-law is Greek Cypriot. So when my sister first got with him, she started learning Greek. They were living in Cyprus for years, and like in the first couple of days, years, should I say, first couple of years, when my sister had learned Greek, my mum's gone over there, and she's one of these that like can't pronounce normal things like. She's instead of Ferrero Rocher, she says Frosho Rochos and stuff like that. That type of thing. But yeah, so she's gone over and they're all my brother-in-law had a bar at the time, so they're all having a laugh, like learning. He's telling them these Greek words and some swear words and stuff like that in Greek, and then. Fast forward to my mum's just sitting there like taking it all in. Fast forward next day, they're in this proper like little Greek village called Paralimni, and gone shopping. And then there's this lad come along on his bike, and he's went into my sister on his bike and really hurt her. And as he's cycled off, my mum's just gone down the street, you bomber bipper, like that. And my sister's
Is that
like,
swear jar?
my
Like,
sister's like,
what's that mean in
Mum,
English?
what are you doing? Do you know what you just said? And she's like, yeah, I called him a naughty boy. And you were like, no,
you didn't.
You called him a great blowjob.
Do you know what? I think we have a special. I think we've got a special contribution to the swear jar coming. Your mum owes that one. Your mum owes that one. Your mum got a
Oh my days! Brilliant.
And all these Greek women walking down the street like, typical English.
Oh my days!
Shout out Mama Brown.
Yeah, shout out Mama Brown, man. Oh my gosh,
who now owes the swear jar.
yeah, that is
Right, lads,
classic.
so on to today's topic.
Yeah, changing the mood quite drastically.
Going from brilliant blowjob. I don't know how we change off from that.
Yeah, I told you I should have saved it for another day.
There is no segue from that.
There's no way to do it. Is it?
So on to the next section.
So on to the next bit where we discuss interesting things. So this was sent into the group chat, and
It's a viral video, innit?
it's a very viral video. It's around. I think this is actually someone reacting to the video as well. Like you can see their face in it. But I'm gonna play it, and it's around child support. And obviously, for those who are viewing and listening, the video will be inserted somewhere. So if I go right to the beginning of the video.
If you want to live solely off of child support, it's important that you have multiple baby daddies and that baby daddy only has kids with you and not with other women. The reason for that is because there is a cap on what percentage of their income that they will have to pay towards child support. And I think where I live, it's like 16% or something like that. So it's important also that they have a high income. I'm pregnant with my third child right now, and this is my third baby daddy. So what I do is I download dating apps and I go sit in parking lots of expensive areas. And a lot of times the people that live in those areas make a lot of money because the cost of living is high, right? I always try to get on these dating apps and start talking to these men a couple weeks before I start ovulating, so I can get to know like what their job is, how much they make, if they have any other kids, because this is important information. Also, always ask them if they want kids. If they say yes, run. If they say no, perfect. That means you can have your kid. You don't have to worry about them getting partial custody and you getting less child support money. If you want to live...
So like
Speechless.
just the faces in this room explains it. Now, I'm not gonna say that the women here in the UK think the exact same because I'd hope they don't. And that's
Yeah,
not
I was going to say, does the same rules
this is
apply
obviously
in America?
the same. So
the
as
UK?
someone who's been on child support before, there is a cap on
There's
how
a cap,
much of
yeah.
my money can be taken. Do I agree with the cap? No. Do I think it's fair and reasonable? Absolutely not. And do I think they need to take other things into consideration before they take your income into consideration? Yes. But the child support system is designed so that you get this much. We're not going to worry about your living expenses. We're not going to worry about none of that. This is how much you get paid. So let's say you get paid £1,400 a month. They don't care about your rent. They don't care about your expenses to live. They just care you've got that coming in your bank. They then take a set percentage. If it's one child, you get the woman will get the maximum amount. If it's two children, it gets split. And if it's two different parents, it will get split between the parents. Hence why that lady were there was saying, make sure they haven't got kids. Make sure they come from a high income. Make sure they don't want any other kids. And so the reason why I brought that video to light is because in more so the generation I'm in, I see a lot of stuff on Facebook where I'm deleting people off of my Facebook because they've posted a rant about their children's dad and child support. And I'm like, no, let me just get you off my Facebook. Because one thing I really dislike about the child support system, I understand it's there for dads who run away, don't want to, or moms. It's for both parents who don't want to support their children. I understand that. But if a woman takes your children, refuses you access, even if you want the access, refuses you the access, which she legally can do because she is the sole carer in any circumstance. So if she does that, she can still take you to child support and make you pay for that child that you're being told you cannot see. So she's saying, no, you can't see your child, but yes, I want the money and I'm going to make you pay the money. And the reason I disagree with it in that sense is, one, they should be seeing if the dad's trying to be involved. If the dad's trying to be involved, then child support should be turning around to the mom saying, no, we're not going to give you money. We're going to tell you what, you two need to sort it out, be adults and go 50-50. And then he will provide for his child. If he's not, come back to us.
Or
that
even
should be number one.
Even if they hold the money until you got access.
Or even something like such, until there's access. And then another reason why, I'm not going to give a statistic because I don't have it, but in a certain amount of cases, there's moms claiming the full benefits for these children who aren't working, haven't worked a day in their life. Then there's dads who are being restricted from their children with their income working hard, and the mom's able to take a large amount. So in my situation, I was losing like a chunk of my money, and it was a substantial chunk. And it meant I couldn't have no luxuries. I could just about live. Like I said, they don't take into account my rent. The fact I'm a single man, I don't get much help from the council and so on and so forth. They don't take into account I've got to live myself, otherwise how am I supposed to be here for my kid?
I just want to jump in here for you because obviously anyone who's watched the previous episode, you'll see how much Will's like invested in his kids now. I can more or less guarantee if he knew that money, even though it was a sizable amount, was literally going on his kids, wouldn't have an issue.
100%.
But obviously we know that there are certain people who will take that money and it's not all for the kids.
So thank you for clearing that up as well, Bobby. My problem isn't the fact that I had to pay for my children or that any man has to pay for their children. That is not my problem. I just don't believe it should go straight.
Problem is, are they seeing it?
I think I seen something actually which made perfect sense. So obviously you need to judge the male's circumstances, not just his work. Once you've judged that, that's when you calculate the money. Then the money goes onto a prepaid card that can only be used for groceries, baby stuff, and cannot be used for alcohol, cannot be used for cigarettes. So like, it's got restricted items you cannot. So like if you've got a youth bank card, if you go into a vape shop, the card machine will decline your card naturally. So there was I seen something where this was a mentioned idea, but obviously the cost of rolling it out to the government is too much for them to even think about doing so. But a prepaid card, and I was like, well, forget the prepaid card. Why can't I just ask for receipts? When I was speaking to the CSA people on the phone, I was like, I ain't got a problem paying it, but can I have receipts? No. What do you mean no? So I could be giving X amount, and that could be getting spent on parties. That could be getting spent. Not saying it is, but it could be getting spent on their bad habits if they smoke cigarettes or anything else, or if they drink or so on. It could be getting spent on clothes that aren't for my kids. And so in that case, where's the fairness? Where's the the line? Where's that line that gets crossed? Because I think men, if you are on child support, you should be able to see what your money's going on. Same with moms. If you're a mom on child support, this is the same to you. I believe you should. I also think there needs to be a lot more restrictions because there is women doing exactly what that woman there has just said.
That's so calculated. Like what she's doing, like actually planning it out to be in some.
There was so much wrong with that video.
So
for the fact as well,
it's a cultural thing in America to a certain extent. I obviously don't want to tar everybody with the same brush.
No, 100%.
There's a certain variation of the population have that sort of mindset, and I think over here as well that it can be a case of like get pregnant just to get like a house or
get a house, get support from the
But
system, and
there's completely aside of like the money and everything like that. If you're having a child for no other reason than to
Financial
financially
gain. Yeah.
you shouldn't be having a
you
child.
are the scum of the earth.
Yeah,
It's
serious.
like
Because do you even
that child
love and care
deserves-
about that child?
Yeah, that child didn't ask to be in this world. That child deserves love. It deserves care. It deserves both parents in its life. And if you are denying it, that child that because
You're getting a financial gain from it. You're just.
it's
I'll be
just
real. I will
unfathomable-
happily give
fathomable
the swear
for
jar
me.
money.
It's
You're just an
crazy.
absolute C-nut. You're.
Yeah.
If you're going out doing
Yeah,
that,
there you
taking away, I'll put a tenner in that
That's-
jar for
yeah,
that
that
word.
should
I
be for
don't
that.
care. Yeah, that is a strong swear word. That's how
Yeah.
strongly I feel
No.
against
I'm gonna.
If you take
It's a
away
level
a
up.
child's other parent so that you
Mm.
can gain money from them, I'm not going to say dad or mom. I'm not saying who it is. If a
Mm.
dad or a mom takes away a child's dad or mom just to get money from that other parent,
Yeah.
It's wrong,
the
man.
death sentence needs to be
It's
brought
wrong.
back for that. I'll be real. That's
So
disgusting, man.
trying to throw a slight impartial argument in here, just in the interest of fairness.
Go on.
I don't think anything she's doing right. I do question if it's fully legit if she's trying to do it for clicks. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah.
However, if those dads who don't want a kid and then get a girl pregnant, they're not aware of what she's doing and they're just happy to be like, yeah, okay, you just deal with the kid then.
Yeah.
They deserve to
If-
pay it as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
I
if
will
there's-
say that. I will say
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I completely agree. If
I will
you're
say that.
if you're not prepared, you should be wearing
Wearing a hat.
protection. If
Yeah, at that
or-
stage in a relationship,
Yeah.
100%.
You should be
Because
wearing a
it seems
helmet.
like she sleeps with them after the first date.
Yeah.
Because-
This is
because
what I'm
it's-
saying, yeah.
again, this is a completely different issue. But I think when dating, the onus is normally on the woman to protect. It needs to be on both.
Yeah.
Especially that.
Gotta
But,
cover yourself.
but yeah, if you don't want kids, but you've got someone pregnant and you're prepared to pay for it, but you don't want to be part of that life, it's better having I think having the clean cut, even though like the child needs both parents in their life, it's a grey area, isn't
Yeah.
it? Having that clean cut rather than having someone
Who's being forced into their life and
well, it's more a case of letting the kid down all the time and not
Yeah, of
being
course.
consistent with
So
the
there's two-
child, because that can really mentally affect.
yeah, essentially
the
what you're
child.
saying is if someone's had a child and they don't want the child, it's better off for them to just not have the contact and pay. Because that's going to be emotionally damaging, but it's not going to be as emotionally damaging as having the contact that you're just not going to give them anyway. So they're
And being
constantly getting
really
their hopes up, down,
inconsistent
left,
as
right,
well.
inconsistent. I agree with you in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Like if you're not going to be consistent, you're not going to be able to be there for your child, and you genuinely don't want that child. You've got no connection. Just stay clear. But my
You're
point
responsible for
is,
your actions at the end.
my
of the
point
day.
is to put
Yeah.
to put something impartial as well in there. CSA is essentially in its own way can be a positive thing being there, because obviously there is parents who
Yeah.
do
It's
exactly
there
that.
for a good reason.
It's there for a good reason. Just like anything else in this country, the benefit system, the housing system, so on and so forth. People have gone and found the grey lines, the loopholes, and
Yeah.
ways to cheat said system and make said system profitable to them.
Yeah.
And so they've gone and done it. So obviously you had it with child benefit, and that's why they went and brought this child cap in place. And then you had it with this, and then they slowly and surely keep bringing caps in place. The government do, because people are finding cheats. But CSA is one of them things which I believe the government just don't know how they're going to cap this or deal with it.
I mean, see, this is the thing. This is what I think. This is a lot where maturity comes into it and rising above your own personal issues to sort it. Because I mean, like in my situation with the girl's mum, like we haven't got anything agreed by court. There isn't CSA involved. We just do it. We just do it. And she'll ask me, "Oh, I need a bit of help towards this week. If I can do it, I will." Or I'm like, if I need her to get, would you mind picking this up for the girls or whatever? And she's just like, yeah, I can. And you just work it between you. Like, that's the way it
In a
should be.
perfect world, that's great.
That's the way
But,
it should be.
but yeah, but sometimes both
not
parents
possible.
don't have that
Yeah,
relationship.
unfortunately as well, wherever there's money, people are greedy.
Yeah.
You know, it is
People
in
So, yeah.
unfortunately, in the perfect world, yes, your dynamic would be what everyone goes for.
Yeah.
But just like Natty said, either both parents won't have the mental capacity to do that, or one does,
It's trust as
and
well.
the other won't. And so it just ends up being a clash, like, because the one who does is trying to make them amends and trying to make them agreements, but then the ones who doesn't, I mean, some people are exactly like that woman. They don't want to be your friend. They don't want to deal with things because they're genuinely trying to get that.
What is that
child
woman
support.
going to tell her kids
Yeah.
when they're older? They're coming
that's
to
my point.
teenage
Well,
years,
that's
my
and
point.
she's like, and they're asking like, why wasn't my dad around?
She
Why doesn't he want to
purposely
be
set out
involved?
for them to be
Like, is it like if she does find a heart somewhere down the line and actually tells them the truth of how she calculated it to conceive them, how are they going to see her
yeah.
after that?
No, 100%.
Well,
'cause I
that
think,
video will be out there forever.
No,
that-
exactly,
That
yeah.
video's not
Something
going
like that.
nowhere
People
because the
have
thing is,
recorded that.
even if she takes that down, like I said, the video we just watched is actually a side
reaction
video.
video,
and he's
yeah.
reacting to it.
Yeah.
He's not going to take it down, even if she does take it down. So it's that's the thing with the internet.
And
You
he
put it up,
won't
it's there
he
for
won't be
life.
the only person that's
Yeah,
reacted to
100%
that.
won't be. And then, like, for example, the DadPod. We're
We're
reacting
reacting to
right
it
now. I'm not taking this
Exactly.
because she's messaged me 10 years down the line and sorted her head out. Like,
Yeah.
it is what it is, and I agree. How is she gonna ever explain that to her kids? I had you because it was a career choice.
Yeah.
Basically, she's saying her children are a career choice.
Do you know what? Again, to back a case, she could actually be a really good mom, but it's
She
really
could
not a way to
be
go
she
about
could
things.
be a great mum, but it's the calculated side of how
Yeah.
she conceived them,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
purposely making sure
She's engineered it
that
to be.
the dad's not involved.
I'm
Yeah.
not like she's literally going out of her way
Like,
to find men who don't want to.
Fair enough. Like some of them men, once they find out she's pregnant and she's keeping the child, they could have a change of heart and want to be involved.
And that's a problem.
But she is
problem
giving
for
them.
her.
She
That's what
is
I'm saying,
yeah,
yeah.
it's a problem for her. But she is giving them a kind of, so to speak, get out of jail free card.
Yeah, you've got.
'Cause
you've
if
got
they
a
don't
child
want-
away,
if
if
they-
you don't want it, yeah, sweet, no worries. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
make you do anything. Just pay my money.
Child support in America is nuts as well.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
loads
crazy
more than
highlight.
it's
I
over
think in
here.
this country, don't quote me on these stats, but it's somewhere between like 7-11% cap.
Yeah.
7 to 11% on the cap of your net income. They don't go off your gross, but I actually believe in America they go off your gross because you don't actually pay taxes
and it's
the
like
same way
more.
here.
It's more towards
And it's-
40 or 50.
Yeah, it's a lot higher
Yeah.
before you get
Crazy.
to cut off. So like she's saying 16%, but that's per child.
Yeah.
In this
Could
country,
you
the maximum they can take off me is 20-something%.
Could you go on your phone? Because I can't remember the figure of this. Could you go on your phone and find out how much Evander Holyfield was paying in child support? Because it was
How do I spell it?
horrendous. Evander.
Evander
Evander Holyfield.
Holyfield, child support. You know what though? I do see some of the, this is where I was saying.
'Cause he had
there
a
needs
lot
to
of
be a
kids.
fair pay cap. So he was held in contempt. So this means he was going to prison. He was
Yeah.
in court.
Yeah.
Because he failed to pay over $500,000 in child support. I'm sorry, but this is what I meant earlier when I said there needs to be a fair cap.
Yeah.
Because I've got friends who work and they've got good money. They've won very good money for themselves, and you know what, fair play to them. They're paying a whole wage to their
Yeah.
children's mom in child support.
Nuts.
I'm talking they're paying £1,400 on their child support bill. I'm like, so don't get me wrong, yeah, they are well off. These are lads making £5,000-6,000 a month, but what, like, this is where I'm saying the cap needs to be there.
Out of
Isn't it-
interest, how active in their life is
Well, some of them are, I'll be real, they're deadbeats, and I tell them every day, like, yo, you need
Yeah.
to sort yourself
Yeah,
out.
F 'em then.
But there's certain
Yeah.
ones. There's certain ones, like I've got a really good friend who's paying, and I won't go too much into it, but he's paying a monthly salary.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's currently taking the other parent to court. He's going through the court process, so he's
Right.
paying for that too. Because if you can
Yeah.
imagine, he's paying a monthly salary in child
Yeah.
support. He's not entitled to
Yeah.
legal aid or anything. So he's not only paying court fees to then try to get access, and that don't get knocked off his child support.
So he
Yeah,
currently
yeah.
doesn't have any access to the kids.
No, and that's not through his own choice. So
Yeah.
this is
Okay.
what I was saying.
So that's
With
So
the
it goes
mother,
back.
the
It
mother
goes back
chose-
to what you were saying.
Yeah, this is what I was saying like earlier. In this country, which is something which I've always said is completely messed up. From birth, mom is sole carer. So mom gets she has the trump card over
It
dad.
should be as standard
should be
that both parents
straight down.
are equal.
And that's what I've always said. As standard, it should be both
Yeah.
should be equal
And-
until one proves they can't be.
Unless there are other circumstances like domestic abuse.
Yeah, this is
like
what-
proven domestic
That's what I
abuse.
said.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
until
yeah.
proven that the other one shouldn't have 50-50 smack bang, because they say, oh yeah, you got 50-50 PR. No, you do, but you don't at the same time. Because if a mom can get up and walk away, I have to bring my kids back after
Yeah.
28 days.
Yeah.
A mom doesn't have
Yeah.
to bring her kids back after 28 days.
Yeah.
I'll be done for kidnap after 28 days though.
No, you wouldn't. So, because I obviously I don't get too much into things. Well, I was looking at all sorts of things at first because I didn't know what was going on. Essentially, if either parent like sort of takes the kids, they can't. You literally have to go to civil court. About
Yeah, you have to go straight
the
to
police. The police can't remove.
Yeah,
the
the police
kids.
can't do anything.
So like, so it doesn't. There's no time
I
period.
was
on it.
told
the only thing you
28
can't
day
do.
limit.
The only thing you can't do is leave the country.
Yeah. That's a fair thing. But like, so what annoys me about the child support system is, like I said earlier, my pal is currently fighting to see his children. Likewise, so was I when I was on child support, trying to see our children. We haven't done much wrong. We've both got tainted and flawed pasts, but that's not us now. We've proven ourselves a million times over and over again. Everyone's seen we're not the same people we was. And so he's now going through court, but child support don't actually take into account the fact that he's going to court to see these children so he can have these children 50-50 and provide for his children off his own back. They don't take that into account, and he's still paying the child support while he's going through the court process. And as anyone who's been through court knows, the process can be a very lengthy process. So he's going to be paying up to 2-3 years of child support.
Yeah.
And I'm talking a salary, like a minimum wage salary he's paying his children's mum for his child, for his one child. So that's what I'm saying. It's you don't need a minimum wage salary on top of what the state gives you, let alone if you work. If you work, you definitely don't need the minimum wage salary on top, but you don't need that on top of what the state gives you to raise one child. So that's what I mean by there needs to be a fair processing cap. Child support actually need to look at what the receiving parent has in income
Or
first.
at least something like
outgoings as well.
Or at least something like so like say if you are that loaded, because if if you've got that much money, you still got to look after your kid.
Yeah, of
but
course.
Like there should be a cap on how much can go to a mom or dad
Direct.
in those circumstances, and then there should be some sort of trust fund or something.
I think it should just be a universal thing though, like I was saying.
Then
Like
it's helping the kid when they're older. Or
I think it should be
when they're 21 or
a
something.
universal rule of the receiving parent, the parent who applies for the child support or child maintenance, as they now call it. They also assess the income of that individual, not just the individual paying, because I think there should be a cap on how much money is needed to raise a child.
Yeah, because
so if the receiving parent,
the what you're paying for is for the child to have fair accommodation and be fed.
That's
and clothed.
And clothed.
That's
You're paying for their
essentially
basic needs. That's
three
what child
things,
maintenance is supposed to be for.
That's
Their
what it's
basic
meant
needs.
to be, yeah, exactly.
And so,
not providing for someone's lifestyle.
Yeah,
and
if
not
the other
providing
parent
take them
can't
out to the
provide
park
that,
or
then
take
they're
them
with the wrong parent.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And child maintenance, when I was reading on it, isn't actually supposed to be used to pay for holidays and stuff like that. That's extra. That is not actually your child's maintenance. That's your child's luxuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, so child maintenance is your basic needs. And I genuinely do think they need to start looking into the receiving parents' funds first.
Yeah.
As well as the paying parents and working out, okay, so the receiving parent, one second, you're on $5,000 a month as it is.
Yeah.
Why am I
That's
now
your
going to
lifestyle.
take $1,000 off this person? Well, if you're on state benefits in this country, they're probably on about $1,500 with their rent paid.
Yeah.
Like that's including their child benefit, their child element, and their own money. They're on about $1,000 with their rent paid on top of that. Like if they're in a council property. So in that situation, the child maintenance team should be like, okay, sweet. The percentage we're taking from you is lower than what we take from someone who.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they should work out off the receiving parent as well, and they should also take into account the paying parent's essential expenses.
Yeah.
How can you expect me to pay child support if I end up losing my roof doing it?
Yeah.
If
Exactly.
I lose the roof on my head doing it,
That
how
makes
do you
no
expect me
sense.
to pay child support? If I can't feed myself, how do you expect me to pay child
Yeah.
support and go to work to pay for my child?
And when that child is with you, like
How am I supposed to provide for said child if you're taking all
Exactly.
of my money? And the thing is, they don't actually take into account until you spent at least 48 hours with your child a week.
yeah.
They don't start taking it into account, and you don't start getting deductions until it's at minimum 48 hours.
Yeah.
And you must have something like 96 hours in order to be shared care.
Nuts, innit?
It's crazy how the rules
Yeah.
all work in the child support system, man. It's
Yeah.
so government, if you're watching this, man, please fix up the child support and stop. Yeah.
Just make it fairer. Make it fairer and
Yeah.
Yeah, because it
and
exists
put the
for.
responsibility on the parents.
It's like we've always, like I've said, and I always will say, impartial responses. Child support exists for a reason, as does everything that exists on planet Earth. And the reason it's there is actually positive. It's for them parents that are just ditching kids on another parent and just absolutely having no accountability for their child, no financial accountability, no physical, no nothing. It's for them people. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But women need to stop. Oh, and men need to stop dragging down the other parent if the other parent's trying to be there. And
Yeah,
you need to be able.
yeah.
It's like Bobby said. People need to start growing up and talking amongst each other. Man.
Yeah.
I think
Exactly.
bringing it back to what you were saying about people playing the system and finding all the grey areas in these elements of like benefits and stuff like that. I think what they need to do is start reviewing it like they have other things, and like, because from what you're saying, the solution that you're giving, it's a fairly simple solution. They just need to audit things, and review what someone is paying and stuff like that. Whether they take a similar structure to when you kind of apply for a loan, apply for a mortgage, and they look at your expensive, can you actually pay this? Something like that to be put into place, and then they can actually work out how much you can actually give them.
Genuinely afford,
genuinely
not just
give
based
them,
off your net, but
and
based off your actual,
you still be able to have a decent standard of living yourself.
Even if you have a basic standard of living, that they could at least
A basic
afford you
standard of
with a
living
house,
is
the roof on your head.
it's not the best, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And it's a lot better than
Roof on your head, belly fed,
some
some clothes on
unfortunate
your back.
people have in this country.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So they do need to review it and think about it a lot more, because from what you're saying, the amount that person that you know is paying out and they're not even having access to their own child,
It's
and they want it as well.
It's a shambles.
It's crazy.
You see,
That's absolutely
like I
horrendous.
said, I've got friends who don't want to be involved with their kids, and they've got a mutual discussion with the children's parent, and they're just paying the money. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You lot fix your heads up, man. I can't really associate with you anymore because that's not my style of life. But you're doing that,
Yeah.
whatever. That's why the system
As long as
exists.
they're providing for them.
My point is that's why the system exists,
Yeah.
because I've got people who I wouldn't even call friends anymore, more past associates,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
of the way they've turned in life.
Yeah.
And so that's why the system exists for them people. But then you got people like myself and my other friend who I actually class as a friend, paying stupid amount of money in CSA, and we just want to see our kids screw. Like, I don't mind providing for my children. That's not my problem. I provide for them now. They get everything before
Yeah.
I even get anything.
Yeah.
That's not my
Exactly.
problem. My problem is
If I was
making
in
me
that
provide for someone
situation-
I can't see.
If I was in that situation, what would really irk me is I don't know whether or not that money is going on my child.
Well, this is where trust comes in, isn't it? You need to trust the other parent, and like what Bobby
How
was,
much can you trust
what
that?
Bobby was saying about communication as
Yeah.
well is making, well, you can't fully trust the other.
But in the situation of where you haven't done anything wrong, but that other parent is actively stopping you from seeing your child.
How can you trust that?
How
person?
can you trust? How can you
Yeah,
trust that
I
person?
completely agree, and I have experience. I don't obviously want to delve too much into it because of
Understandable.
yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's you just have to like going on what Bobby was saying earlier. Like you have to sort of settle it within yourself that like you need to trust the other parent, that they have the needs at heart the same as you do, and you're doing what you can to provide for your child. Yeah, it's hard to settle it with within yourself, and it's a mental battle every time. But you just if you don't at least try to trust, then you're never gonna move on, and you're never gonna sort of
Ultimately, you trusted that person enough to have a child with them.
Yeah, at some point.
That's if you the thing is, even if
I don't know.
In some
No,
circumstances.
I was about to say in
Yeah.
some
That's
circumstances.
not her circumstances on that video.
now, obviously she's trapping people in it, but if you're not using protection, that's on you. Like if
No,
it's
yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a one night
yeah,
thing
100%
and
right.
you haven't used protection,
Then
you've trusted that person.
there is a
enough.
chance that's going to
Oh
happen.
no,
isn't it?
100%.
So,
You're
like,
right.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
realistically, where this needs to be addressed is in education at schools, because people will talk about sex and having children and contraception, but who actually talks about the expense of everything, the way things work, if you're not actually with someone? It's a deep.
No
much
one
deeper
really
in-
educates you
much
that in
deeper
school.
in-
Yeah, because they've kind of gone down the disease route, and
Yeah, they teach me not to get chlamydia
Yeah,
and
stuff
STDs,
like that.
STIs, but they don't teach me the actual moral side
but
of things.
they also teach you that some of these can be cured with medication.
Yeah.
So
So you got a safety net.
yeah, so there is
You have some
that
sort-
safety.
yeah.
But if you hit them with the financial side, where a lot of people don't want to be taken out financially, I think that might hit home a little bit more.
No, you're right. I feel like in schools, they like. I'll be real. If I was told in school that about child support and all that, I probably would have wrapped it up and I wouldn't be on DadPod right now.
Yeah.
And so
It's a very
it's the
heavy
truth.
subject for a 13, 14-year-old.
I think it's year
Yeah,
11.
it is,
What I
yeah.
As
think
soon
is
as it's able to, like,
I
as soon
think
as
it
it's
needs
able
to be
to
year
work,
11 at
there's a
college.
chance.
I'm not
Yeah.
talking. I'm not talking the middle of your secondary school. I'm talking your last year or college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go to
Whoa.
college, and the minute you go to college, it's all of a sudden sex education out the window, and the only sex
Yeah.
education that exists is the bowl of condoms on the reception.
Yeah.
When I went college, that was the only sexual.
And letting you know
Bobby
where
brings up
where
a
you can
good
go get
point.
tested.
Bobby brings a good point about that as soon as it's working,
Yeah.
that's when you need to know.
As soon as the like,
Yeah.
the bodies for males and females have sort of developed, there's a chance it can happen.
No, you're right. There
I'm
is
sure
14,
your school
15-year-old
was the same as our
pregnancies.
school, where like girls be getting pregnant while in school.
Oh no,
Yeah,
there was
And-
about, I think. Well, to be fair, my school, I'll be honest, was heavily Islamic, so a lot of the girls didn't.
Yeah.
But amongst other people that I knew,
Yeah, yeah.
peers that went to different schools, and obviously I had travelled around schools due to behaviour. I did come across a lot of people, and like I've even got relatives that were pregnant while sitting their GCSEs.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
you know what I'm saying. So it's 100% possible, and
Yeah.
I know of lads coming to me at 14 with pregnancy scares when I was
Yeah.
14.
Nuts.
There you go then. So yeah.
So, I think
But
it's a good
be all
segue.
and end all. CSA needs to get sorted out, man.
Indeed,
No, the
indeed.
be all and end
Just
all
needs
is
to- it needs to
CSA
be
needs to
fair.
become
Needs
to be
fairer.
fair. It needs to be more
because
fair.
it exists for a reason. I don't say abolish it, because abolishing it would just, you're taking
Yeah.
the mick there, because there is people, mums and dads, that deserve to be paid
Yes.
on CSA.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
of course, yeah.
There's a need for it.
There's a
because-
need for child support. There is a need for that system to exist.
because it's
However,
not
it
it's
needs
not
to-
fair for an absent parent just to be getting away with it and not
Yeah,
and having
and
to
I
deal
think
with.
I think what needs to be done is, in complex cases, it needs to be heard by a person, not just a system. Like,
Yeah.
'cause when
common sense.
when people are receiving these applications, they're going off what the system tells them they need to tick this box, tick that box,
Yeah.
do this calculation. I think when it's a complex case, if a parent's trying to be involved and can prove they're trying to be involved, it needs to be a hearing,
Yes.
a
Yeah,
proper
yeah.
formal hearing. A judge in America, they do that.
Yeah.
You can do it in this country. You can appeal the amount that they're trying to say. It is a very long process, which is why a lot of people just say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to pay the bill.
Yeah.
But you can, and then you can get the bill decreased or increased due to your circumstances. But why should you have to do the 6-month tribunal in the first place? Why shouldn't that be the start of
Yeah.
the child support? And
Yeah.
that's where my point is. Child support needs to be there, just needs to be fairer. It needs to have more rules that work in favour of everyone. And it's
Yeah.
and the be all and end all is, screw you, screw the child's mom. It needs to be in favour of the child.
Yeah.
Child
Exactly. It's all
support.
about
Yeah.
the child.
It's not about me.
Yeah.
It's not about my children's mom. It's about the child.
Yes.
And that's what child support needs to be.
Definitely.
Simple. That's
Yeah.
my
think-
take.
Well said, man.
That
Well
goes. Nice.
Okay, that's all we've got time for today. Thanks everyone for tuning in again. And if you liked what you heard, liked what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss anything and you don't miss the next episode.
Yeah. And
We-
tell us your opinions on what we talked about in the comments and that, and then any questions, just send them through. We'll have a chat about them next time.
Yeah, you can reach us on all socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, all of those good things. So if you feel like you want to share something and you want us to talk about it on the episode, then like you said, drop it in the comments. Speak to us on online on all socials, and we will drop it in.
Give us your feedback and your opinions as well, and what we talk about and where your thoughts lie with it, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Be
we're
constructive.
we're all still learning and trying to
Indeed.
improve the podcast as well. So
That's it.
yeah, feedback is more than welcome, guys. But yeah, this has been DadPod. See you on the next episode. Peace out.